I have been excited to talk about this. I have been so excited to talk about this. But before we talk about this, if you guys want to check out my Letterboxd, you can check out my short films, which are on YouTube. You can also log them on Letterboxd and rate them. You can also rate them on IMDb. Oh, that was a mouthful. It would mean the world to me. Definitely check them out. Also, you can check out my feature film, Pesadilla. It's on Amazon right now. There'll also be a physical release in December, which I'll talk to you guys more about that soon. And if you also want to hit that like and subscribe button, it would mean the world to me. Always looking to meet other content creators and filmmakers. Let's talk about Disclaimer from... Let me make sure I'm saying his name right, because I am notorious for mispronouncing this dude's name, and he's like one of my favorite directors working today, Alfonso Cuarón. One of my favorite films from him is Children of Men. I mean, it is my favorite film of his. What am I talking about? It's in my top 10 favorite films of all time. And if you're not familiar with who Alfonso Cuarón is, which you might actually not be, because I don't really hear a lot of people talk about him too much, which is actually a shame, but he did... Y2, I'm not even going to try to pronounce that, Roma, Gravity, Children of Men, and Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. Well, he has a new miniseries out, which he is considering as his next film. That's basically what he said, and it's called Disclaimer. When an intriguing novel appears at the bedside of a journalist whose career has been built on revealing transgression, she is horrified to realize she's a key character in the long-buried story, one that exposes her darkest secret. Now, this film is this miniseries, it is a 7-part miniseries. It's done now, by the way. You guys can watch it. I loved it, but the ratings are all over the place. Like on Letterboxd, it has a 3.7 with a majority of 4, and then on Rotten Tomatoes, I think it has a 70-something%, and then the audience score has, I think, a 50-something. So it shows you that you should definitely take scores very serious. And this is one of my favorite things I've seen this year. It actually is my favorite thing that I've seen this year so far. I do kind of consider miniseries and films sort of in the same league. I do separate TV shows, but miniseries they're basically longer films, and that's how I've always viewed them. That's how most people do. And yeah, and I love the miniseries format. I mean, if you look at some of the best miniseries out there, I mean, Chernobyl, Disclaimer. I'm going to throw Disclaimer on the list because why not? There's a lot of miniseries out there that really just tickle my toes. I'm going to make an interesting comparison here in a second for Disclaimer, but first I'm just going to talk about Disclaimer as a whole. You guys should watch it. It's very good. It's very, very good. It has amazing performance. It has an amazing performance from Cate Blanchett. It also has, which is kind of funny because I don't get a chance to see him in a lot of films. But there's Kevin Kline, who is in it, which if you're not familiar with who he was in Beauty and the Beast, Hunchback of Notre Dame, The Pink Panther, Definitely Maybe. Like, he's been in a few things. He was also in The Big Chill and the Ice Storm, which is kind of crazy. So I actually don't get a chance to see him too much, which is very, very unfortunate. And then you also have Sacha Baron Cohen, which if you don't know who he is, he's Borat. It's so interesting to see him in this type of role. I think the last time that I seen him in a role that was somewhat serious, I guess you could say, would probably have to be Trial of the Chicago 7. And he's just great. And then there's also Cody Smith-McPhee, which he was in Deadpool, he was in Elvis, he was in Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, he was also in Power of the Dog, he was also in The Road, so he's been in a lot of really good things, and he's just got a very unique look to him where he kind of just works for this film. Oh wow, he was also in Memoir of a Snail too. That's cool. I need to watch that. Disclaimer is electrifying from the moment it starts to the moment it ends. Now, the film is told in non-chronological order, so you're basically following this old man who has lost his son. You're following Cate Blanchett with her family, and you're following the old man's son and a younger Cate Blanchett. Those are basically the stories that you're following. And it goes some very interesting directions. There's a lot of twists, there's a lot of turns. Not as many as you might think, but definitely towards the end, there definitely are. And I will say this. I do think the first 6 episodes are stronger than the 7th episode, which I know that might seem a little bit unfair that I'm putting 6 episodes above the 7th, but the thing is, the 7th is where the reveal comes in. Like, there's a lot of reveals. Again, won't spoil anything. But I was definitely more on board with the first 6 episodes than I was the last episode. Although the last episode, it does do a good job of sort of kind of smacking you in the face But again, it wasn't bad whatsoever. It was just the other episodes were that good. So it was very hard for me to sort of separate that last episode from the other ones because, again, I was still engulfed with the mystery the first 6 episodes. The cinematography for this film is fantastic. It's probably the best cinematography I've seen all year. I really just love what Alfonso does with everything that he does. Just looks very clean and crisp, but it also has this very moody sort of look to it, where it's got this sort of dark, sort of cloudy style over that I've noticed in the films that he makes. And I really love his approach to filmmaking. My son just bust through the door, scared the shit out of me. Hi. An overall disclaimer is great. You can check it out on Apple TV. I hope this gets a 4K release. I hope it gets a 4K release because it is a beautiful, beautiful, well-constructed miniseries. Honestly, this made me want to go back and watch Decalogue because I would love for like a modern day-ish Decalogue filmed like this because it's so beautiful. So beautiful. It reminded me a lot, especially some of the motifs that they use in this. It reminded me a lot of something like Krzysztof Kieslowski and Lars von Trier. Especially there's a reoccurring fox. So yeah, take it that what you will. You got to watch it. But yeah, disclaimer is great. Definitely check it out. If you have, let me know what you thought of it. Rob, I know I saw you comment on my last video talking about how much you like disclaimers. So yeah, it's good. It's really good. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a thumbs up, maybe subscribe, and I'll see you next time.